corner of the Dunlop Hotel sits a weathered old man with a face that looks like it's been around since time first began. He's bent, he's burnt out, his hands constantly shake from a love of the grog he could never forsake. In his 5 o'clock shadows, a few shades paler than grey. A lifetime spent in the saddle has taken its toll, riding away from a generation that somebody stole. And the stories he tells are like novels from Verne, and his eyes light up like the cane fires burn when he speaks of the stock routes, the camps and good bosses he's known. So let me shout you a beer, roll you a smoke, raise my glass in salute to you, Jackie Kneebone. Your face is forgotten, your legend untold. You're lost in the new world alone, but still rivers, stock routes and fresh horses will carry you home. G'day, my name's Jason Watkin. I want to take 5 minutes of your time to introduce you to some of my old friends and talk to you about a ride to remember. This project started out as the brainchild of my better half, and to start with it was simply a way to help promote my music, but somewhere along the line it's transformed into one of the most amazing and exciting things I've ever been involved in. And I've done some things in my time: butcher, ringer, miner, musician. And along the way I've had the pleasure of being acquainted with some real gentlemen of the bush. And it was during a discussion with one of these old gentlemen that began my fascination with the droving era. And I recall at the end of the conversation jokingly suggesting that maybe we should saddle up and ride the stock route one last time. Man, that old fella's face just lit up like a firecracker. Heroes come and heroes go, the greatest heroes that I know, the men who opened up this land, oh so many years ago. Crosscut, saw and bullock teams, broad axe carved the maple.
Well, this is a story about Vesties. That was a big English cattle company that owned 20 odd cattle stations in Northern Territory and West Australia, and Vesties would give anybody a mob of cattle if they had a good droving ground. Anyhow, I was sitting down in Newcastle waters, not working, and this drover come up here. I won't mention name because he's a friend of mine. And he said, will you come to Wayville with me and come through the Murrumbidgee? There was always windy, some of these young fellas about the Murrumbidgee, which they should never have been. You had to be on the toes all the time with cattle. Anyhow, we come through the Murrumbidgee and he says, well, I said to him, hey John, I said, we'll have to count these bullocks. And he said, what do you mean? He said, I counted them the other day. Well, I said, I've been with these bullocks 7 days a week and half the night. I said, and I never counted them. Well, I said, well, how'd you count them? Well, he said, I just rode up on the wing and I said, there's 300, that's 600, that's 900, that's 1200. Well, I said, John, I've been with stock and droving all my life, and I said, I'm learning every day.
Hey, so Rodney, what does this trip mean to you, mate?
Oh, very personal, and brings back a lot of memories. Because I first went through this out into that country from Camooweal in 1946. I was only 15. I wouldn't have been 15. And to go through the Murrumbidgee was one of the greatest experiences I ever had.
Well, tell us about the day you arrived in Camooweal on the train, mate.
Yeah, all okay, yeah. I'd come up from Springfield by rail from to Mount Isa. Anyway, I got off the train Mount Isa. All I had was a bit of a cigarette swag about this big. Got off the train and wondering what I was going to do next. Anyway, this bloke came up to me and he said, you looking for a job? I said, yeah. He said, righto. He said, I know I can place you with a drover out at Camooweal. He said, I'll take you out on the mail truck tomorrow. So away we he took me up to a place where he put me up for the night. Next day took us 2 days to get to Camooweal because there was no bitumen those days. Finally get to Camooweal and got off there, and he introduced me to Roby Miller as the driver that was going to employ me. So anyway, Roby said, yes, you have experience. I said, I mean station experience, not driving experience. And he said, you'll be right. So through that, meeting Roby, that was in my 17th birthday in 1940, just 17 years of age. And the next 70 years I've had a great association with the Miller and Freckleton family, all those years. And of course I did 2 trips with Roby down to Tanbar, from Rockland down to Tanbar on the Cooper, and that's where I gained good grounding with droving and good cattle.
I come in from Wayville with a mob of bullocks, trucked into Jara, and I got confirmation from somehow, on the road in that it was a mob of Strathfield cows and calves to unload into Jara or drought it out. Of course, get going in, you've got the south wind all the time and the southeasterlies, and your cattle travel well, headwind. But coming back, you got the north wind, the tailwinds all the time, see? So they're slow travelling and they're poor. So I wired our office that the mileage was too big to drop it back. I think I was on a 7 mile a day. So I'm going to drop it back to 5. But anyway, get this story back. He wrote a letter to Jago, the manager that was on Lake Nash, to keep his cattle branded up, that he didn't want their drovers picking up their cattle and cleanskins. So that was all right. I come down the next year with another mob of cattle and I send me cook up to get rations. So he asked this cook, he said, do you want the ration? He said, Willis. He said, I don't know. He said, whether I should sell him any. He said, he picked up on my cleanskin going back last year. So when he goes back, I said, now you tell Mr. Jago that I never picked up them cleanskins at all, I said. The cleanskin bulls walked into my mob and took over.
This is an opportunity for some genuine old drovers to become reacquainted with an old flame. She's a stock route that runs from Camooweal to the Kimberley, 1,000 miles. A chance for these old blokes to say goodbye one last time to a piece of Australia that afforded them a lifestyle that they wouldn't swap for quids. And the really cool thing is that this whole historical event will be photographed, filmed and documented. It'll become a valuable resource for generations to come, as every day is filled with adventure and discovery, and every night is saturated with yarns and songs around the campfire. We're raising money along the way for the Royal Flying Doctor Service, which has been breathing life into the outback since 1928. Your valuable support and assistance will be widely recognised as a remarkable chapter of Australian history is brought to a close with the respect that it deserves. So hold on to your hats and open your hearts, because in more ways than one, this is truly going to be a ride to remember.